Hello, everybody. You're watching another episode of Fuzzbits International. And, a while back we did a video called how the new Planet of the Apes films are revolutionizing CGI motion capture. And we were doing that to sort of help lead into a video that we eventually want to do called Practical Effects versus CGI. Today, we're not doing that video, but we're doing another video that will branch into that one as well. And this one is talking about how both Star Wars and Mad Max are kind of revolutionizing practical effects. And not just doing that, but resurrecting practical effects. Because for a while, practical effects weren't being used as much. CGI was being overly used.
Star Wars people!
And that's the irony of it, too. And that's the irony, is that the Star Wars prequel trilogy, ironically, was overusing CGI.
It's honestly a CGI nightmare. For lack of better words, it really is.
Not all of it. Attack of the Clones was. Most of the bad CGI was Attack of the Clones.
Honestly, watching it now, I almost can't. It almost makes me feel sick to my stomach.
Just Attack of the Clones. The other two prequels, the CGI is not as bad in them. And for the record, we like all the Star Wars movies. We still like the Star Wars
I like Attack of the Clones. I can still watch it. It's just those scenes where we see all that CGI. It just makes me a little bit sick on my stomach. You know?
It does. We'll talk more about that in another video. But then, ironically, now Star Wars has turned around and done things like opposite. You had the prequel trilogy that was an example of this overuse of CGI. The last two Star Wars movies they did, The Force Awakens and Rogue One, used a lot less CGI. They used some, but there was a good balance of CGI practical effects, and the CGI that was used was very good and worked with the practical effects. J.J. Abrams and his team at Bad Robot and the people at Lucasfilm and at Disney, they chose to do more practical effects with it.
The opening title screen is like, it's real film.
It's real film for The Force Awakens, for one. It is. And I love seeing that. It was a great nostalgic moment. It felt like a great throwback. And it's nice that, we can still see practical effects today. People can still do a lot of practical effects. Those movies proved it. And so did Mad Max Fury Road, which came out the same year as The Force Awakens. A lot of people are going to try to claim that The Force Awakens stole the idea from Fury Road. No, they didn't really. Just a coincidence. And I'm not saying that Fury Road stole from The Force Awakens either, but it is true that J.J. Abrams got the idea long before Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road may have been in production, but J.J. Abrams got the idea before he knew about Mad Max Fury Road.
Isn't necessarily
doing that
the most original idea, but it's a good idea. It's not something that's wildly out there.
But it kind of was the way they did it, though, because they did new stuff with practical effects. All three of those films did, in both franchises. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Star Wars does with their later films with practical effects and CGI both. And I hope they do another Mad Max too. There's been talk about it. I hope they do some more Mad Max because I want to see some more of great practical effects and CGI combined. And yes, Mad Max Fury Road did use some CGI too, but a lot of it was practical effects. Going back to what I was initially saying, J.J. Abrams, before they were even, I think he even knew Mad Max Fury Road was doing it as well. He came up with the idea of doing more practical effects because of what Simon Pegg's daughter said. And if you don't know, Simon Pegg was actually in The Force Awakens for one. He had a cameo. He played the guy that I was about to say that he had stolen the Millennium Falcon. He wasn't the original one to steal it. A whole bunch of people had stolen it. If you see in the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And then of course Ray steals it from him, and then he's the guy that says, "Hey, that's mine!" And that was Simon Pegg, and he was not CGI either.
This Millennium Falcon is mine.
They had put makeup on him.
Mine. Little fun thing there for those people who've seen Lazy Town.
Nice reference. You see, you can do a lot with costume actors, or just building stuff, or using. Mad Max Fury Road used real explosions, And you know they did a good job with it. Now, not every movie that uses real explosions is gonna do what Max Fury Road did. Not every movie that builds robots is gonna do it as well as Star Wars did. But you know, Star Wars did that with the originals. Mad Max did that stuff with the originals, and it was nice to see them bring it back. And there are some other movies they're copying. I feel like since those movies did it so well, other movies are going to want to copy it. Some will do it better than others, though. But they should copy it because it's. Blame me. If Hollywood wants to copy anything, this is a good thing to copy.
It's a good template. I will say that.
This is a good template because, you know, I don't know if they get CGI, but there's still new things you can do with practical effects, and there's still new things you can do with CGI. I think we should use a combination of both. That's what we should do.
A little bit of a history lesson.
You can do beautiful things with it.
There was a movie came out in 1993, way back in the day, called Jurassic Park. You use CGI. And when people saw it, you know, they say imitation's the sincerest form of flattery, and boy did they imitate. They used CGI everywhere and every place they could. But here's the thing that I think these people forgot about Jurassic Park. It's not actually all CGI. There is animatronics. They used CGI when they couldn't use animatronics. And this is very reminiscent of movies from the Ray Harryhausen era of movies. You may have heard of him. He did a lot of stop motion effects. But he would do these kind of things a lot. Like, I remember there being, you know, there's a movie where he had an elephant. He shows a real elephant, but he changes the elephant into a model for when the monster is fighting this elephant. Because, of course, you know, having a figurine there with the elephant, it's just not going to work. So they put in a figurine of an elephant, you know, with a fancy handwork. You see, Jurassic Park was doing that in the more... you know, the way of the future. It was doing that in the way, like, it was using animatronics combined with CGI, just like how the Ray Harryhausen movies, at least a few of them, were using real footage combined with a stop motion to create the illusion that this is all really happening.
Exactly. When you use too much CGI everywhere, then you take you out of the movie and you lose that illusion that it's real, especially when the CGI doesn't look that good. When the CGI looks really good, though, it works. It works for the Planet Apes films because the apes look like humans, practically. Mm-hmm. Real apes, at the least. But the apes are humanized, and not in a way that's too creepy, either to where it takes you out of the film. No, you just believe that they're real apes that behave like humans.
It's not like Polar Express where, not ripping on it, but the people.
No, with that Polar Express.
The people are kind of creepy at times. The animation of the Polar Express is beautiful.
And the animals were beautiful, but they were real animals in a motion capture too.
Animals are beautiful. The train is beautiful. The icy scenery, the trees. It's all beautiful. What really drags Polar Express down a bit is the people animation, because it has not held up as well.
The movie, I still consider it to be modern classic. I love the movie. That's the one thing that doesn't hold up as well today, though.
I think the most recent movie to really perfect a fully animated motion capture movie was Tintin.
Yes, and because we're very biased towards Tintin, but with good reason. It's a great movie. If you never watched it, watch it sometime. But yeah, Tintin did a good job with it. But guess what? Tintin wasn't all CGI either. It used the combination. It's a cool animated film because it used the combination of CGI motion capture and stop motion. The dog in the movie was claymation. Snowy the dog, the main dog. Tintin was motion capture. All the human characters were motion capture. The buildings, a lot of them at least, were stop motion. The cars were stop motion cars, little toy cars. It can be done. You can use both, combine them together in a way that is great. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Max Fury Road are movies that did that perfectly and beautifully. I mean, I don't think not perfect movies of robots are different. Because there's no such thing as a perfect movie, though. But the way it's perfect enough for us, the way they did this. And we loved it. And Max Fury Road, they used real explosions. They were all real explosions. Most of it was practical effects. Most of the scenery was real designs, real sets. The tornado effect, that was CGI, at least half CGI. And in The Force Awakens, all but two of the characters were real. Two of the characters were motion capture CGI. Beautifully animated CGI motion capture, I might add, though. which was one of them was the Peony Ongo's character, who I keep forgetting the name of, and I feel terrible about it because I really love that character, but I don't know why I can't remember her name though. The actress is the Peony Ongo, which is, it's funny that I can remember her name, not the character, because that name's not easy to pronounce. And in fact, I probably actually mispronounced it, and I'm so sorry if I did. She's a great actress, though. That's a great character. She does a good job. Andy Serkis, he also played Caesar in the New Planet Ace films, which of course that character was a beautiful CGI motion capture character. But so is his character in The Force Awakens, Super Bitter Stuff. He's very well animated. I mean, he looks a little bit like the BFG, but that's not a bad thing, because for one thing, BFG was also beautifully animated. He also looks a little bit like Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
I am Oz, but I mean that in a good way too, though. I'm not ripping on it at all. No, I mean that in the best way possible.
Not like in the old Star Wars movies, the ones that, when I say old, I don't mean, the original. I mean like the prequel trilogy. You walk in and the entire, everyone in like that bar or something is a CGI model, and it's just hard on the eyes,
No, I mean, most of the characters were BB-8 was a real droid that they sat down and built. They went. I mean, C-3PO beyond R2-D2 went back to being real droids that were built. KTSO was the real droid that was built in Rogue One. They were all real droids. Because yes, I think in the prequel trilogy, I think there were at least a couple of scenes where R2-D2 and C-3PO were CGI.
I don't think they were completely.
And Yoda was CGI, and he was a puppet in the original.
Here's where George Lucas could have done something a lot bigger. Here's where George Lucas could have taken a page from Jurassic Park and Ray Harryhausen movies. Have Yoda as a puppet when he's not fighting. Okay? I mean, like, people will say, but he couldn't have done the fighting with Count Dooku
and Emperor Palpatine too.
He couldn't have done that. No, he couldn't have. But you see,
that would have been the best time to use CGI. You didn't need to make CGI throughout the whole movie.
I mean, I'm sorry. You may think I'm nitpicking, but the massive amount of CGI is kind of an eyesore.
I mean, Yoda didn't look that bad, but he didn't look as good as he did in the original, and that's where J.J. got the idea, because Sam Peg's daughter, I'm sorry, I completely fixed that story, said that Yoda didn't look as real in the original, or excuse me, in the prequel trilogy as he did in the original trilogy. In the original trilogy, he was a puppet. In the prequel trilogy, he was CGI. That's where J.J. got the idea. You know what? Why don't we use a lot more of that stuff? Practical effects. Stuff like that. Puppets. Stuff that we built. Real sets. The original Star Wars trilogy used a lot of paintings, and they bought all that back, I think, for the new ones, if I'm not mistaken. Some real special effects are, what's that one I mean, is some real exposures mixed in with some CGI exposures. Mad Max Fury Road did that as well. These movies have proven that yes, you can still do a lot with CGI, practical effects, excuse me, but you can do a lot with CGI too. They kind of proved that. The New Planet Ace movies proved that. Now we'll go into more detail about this in the actual video we do. We should wrap this video. We shouldn't say too much about more about that here. Because I also want to add a couple more things. Oh, also another great practical effects in The Force Awakens was the scene where Rey is eating that I'm not sure what it's supposed to be exactly.
I think it's just bread. Like
it's bread.
Really specific bread.
Well, it's bread, and she warms it, and that's not CGI. That's a practical effect. And they did a good job of creating that.
She puts it in water, doesn't she? Like it just sprouts up.
And it sprouts up, and that was a practical effect, and it looks very good, and it works with the movie, and it works with the scene. What other CGI was used in the Star Wars movies? You had those squid characters that were both in the. Well, I don't know if they were squids or not. They kind of were the octopuses or whatever. They were in both The Force Awakens and Rogue One, which I didn't care too much for them. They could have been better. If I had to pick a least favorite thing about both those movies, it's probably actually those. Mad Max Fury Road, when I talked about most of it CGI, I think. And that's pretty much, of course, and Rogue One, I won't say this. Rogue One has 2 CGI characters. I won't tell you what they are, because that's technically a spoiler. And no, I don't consider the other stuff I said about The Force Awakens to really be spoilers, because they didn't really give anything big away about the plot. I won't say who those characters are are in Rogue One, because I feel like that would be a spoiler if you haven't seen the movies. And I know the movies have been out for a while, but people do get busy. I understand that, so no, I will not spoil that. Absolutely not. And with that being said, I guess that wraps up this video. But we had a great time talking to you guys about this subject, and we'll definitely talk to you more about it in a later video. And as always, just feel free, if you like, to comment, subscribe, like, let us know what you thought of it. Let us know what your favorite use of practical effects is in any movie. That could be an older movie too, like from the 80s or going back. And talk about some of your favorite movies that have used CGI very well too. Let us know in the comment section what you think about that, and what you think about this topic, and where you stand. Which do you like better, practical effects or CGI? We're a little bit biased with practical effects ourselves. We have admit that, but we have nothing against CGI too. CGI can be very beautiful as well. And yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Good night.